Hello and welcome to my presentation about conditional clauses. They are better known as if clauses, and conditional clauses are used to express that an action can only take place if a certain condition is fulfilled. And here's an example of a conditional clause. If I go to the gym every day, I will lose weight. But this is only one type of conditional clause. Because there are three types, and all three types are constructed with different tenses. We use type 1 of the if clauses if it is possible and likely that the event will happen. So also the condition has to be possible to be fulfilled, and the condition has to be likely to be fulfilled. The subclause of the sentence, so the if part, stands in simple present, and the main clause of the sentence, so the part of the action or the fulfilling of the condition, stands in will future. Here's an example for type 1. If the weather is nice, I will go to the pool. So as you can see, the if part stands in simple present and the action part stands in will future. And also the usage of type 1 gives us additional information. Because we use type 1 when it's likely and possible that something happens, this shows us that the person probably has checked the weather forecast and knows that the weather is going to be good. So it's very likely that he will go to the pool tomorrow. So let's continue with type 2. We use type 2 of the conditional clauses if the event is possible in general, but not very likely to happen. So in this case, the subclause of the sentence, the if part, stands in simple past, and the main clause of the sentence, so the action part, stands in conditional 1, which is constructed with would and the infinitive. An example for type 2 would be, if she had the money, she would buy the car. And again, you can see that the if part stands in simple past and the action part stands in conditional 1. And the usage of type 2 of the conditional clauses gives us additional information. Because we know that we only use type 2 of the if clauses if an event is not likely to occur, this shows us that obviously the person does not have the money to buy a new car. It is not impossible for her to ever buy a car. She can buy a car if she wants to, but she doesn't have the money right now. So that's the reason why she doesn't buy one. So it's possible, but it's very unlikely for her to do so. And that's why we use conditional clause type 2. We use type 3 of the if clauses if the event or the action cannot happen anymore because it was in the past. In this case, the subclause of the sentence stands in past perfect, and the main clause of the sentence stands in conditional 2, which is constructed with would and have and the past participle. This is an example for type 3. If she had told me where she left the keys, I would have gotten into the house. So the if part of the sentence stands in past perfect, and the action part stands in conditional 2. And again, the usage of type 3 tells us that it is not possible to fulfill the condition anymore because it's in the past. And this is the case with this sentence as well. So She didn't tell me where she left the keys, so I didn't get into the house, and I cannot change anything about that anymore because it already happened and it was in the past. And that's basically it. Those were the 3 different types of conditional clauses. And I'm just going to give you some further information about how to construct clauses. So you can swap the 2 clauses, the 2 parts of the clauses. For example, if I study for the test, I will pass, or I will pass if I study for the test. So both versions are totally correct. But never mix up the tenses. So you always have to remember which tense belongs to the main clause and which tense belongs to the subclause of your sentence. If you're doing a school exercise and you have to construct a conditional clause, always look if there is a given tense already. So, this example, if I had studied for the test, I, and you have to fill in the correct form of to pass. So you see in the if part, so the subclause of the sentence, it's past perfect. And so you know there's only one type that uses past perfect, and that's type 3. And so you know you have to fill in conditional 2 in the main clause. So the correct answer would be, if I had studied for the test, I would have passed. If you're just in a conversation with someone and you do not have a given tense, but you want to use an if clause, you have to look at the circumstances of the situation. So for example, you know that Stephen is very lazy and not very good at school, and you want to say that if he studied, he would pass the test. So you know that you can't use type 3 because the test is in the future, and so it has to be type 1 or type 2. And because you know that Stephen is lazy and not very good at school, he could learn and study for the test, but it's not very likely that he does so, and that's why you use type 2. So if he studied, he would pass the test. If you learn all the rules by heart, it shouldn't be a problem anymore to use if clauses correctly. And I hope I was able to explain the rules to you in a comprehensible manner. Thank you for your attention, and have a nice day.